Hello again, everybody. This is John and Glenn with BestPriceNutrition.com. Today we're going to be reviewing MHP, or Maximum Human Performance Up Your Mass. We've had a few requests for it, so we thought we'd take care of it for those of whom requested it. So right off the back line, it's a weight gainer. So and typically when we talk about weight gainers, we're talking about shakes that are more dense in calories. They tend to have a carbohydrate to protein ratio of at least 1 to 1. And we've seen them all the way up to like 8 to 1. And what that means is for every 8 grams of carbohydrates, you'll get 1 gram of protein. This one's a little closer to like a 1.5 to 1. So you want to go ahead and touch on what we're looking at here?
Yeah, their serving size is 4 scoops. This is a 5-pound container, so you're looking at approximately 17 servings. And what they're saying is per serving, so per 4 scoops, there is 510 calories, 11 grams of fat, 58 grams of carbs, 46 grams of protein.
Which will vary a little bit by flavor. And Glenn's reading specifically that when you mix it in water,
yes.
That's one of the confusing things sometimes when they'll put it with milk. And we'll touch on that a little more later. So let's break that down. Like we said, it's a little bit less, maybe like 1.25 to 1, give or take a little bit in terms of carb-protein ratio. So that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Because really the reason why we stress that is because the cost. The real cost in a product is in the protein. Carbohydrates are cheap. So if you see a weight gainer, it's like this 15-pound container, and it's got like 25 or let's say 50 grams of protein per serving, but 200 grams of carbs. Well, getting that serving mixed in a regular-sized container is very difficult, just because of the mass amount of powder you have to use. And if you really want to figure out how much it should cost, you just take the protein, multiply it by the number of servings, and then divide that by the grams of protein. You get your price per gram of protein in the container.
Because really, in these kind of products, you want to pay for the protein.
Yeah.
The carbs are cheap, or are much cheaper than protein is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So running down the ingredients list, just to give you basics here, their first ingredient is their carbohydrate blend, barley, oats, and oat fiber. So they're using higher fiber content for their carbohydrate blend. And then their probiotic protein. It says probiotic amino acid enhanced sustained release protein matrix. Starts with sucrose, soy protein isolate, calcium caseinate, whey protein concentrate, and it looks like they added leucine, isoleucine, and valine, branched chain amino acids they've added to it. And then you go down and there's a healthy fat, or what they call a healthy fats blend. It's got their MCTs, EFA blend, CLA, evening primrose oil, flaxseed oil, and omega-3 complex. And then they do add some vitamins and minerals to it, but really that's not the selling point of the product. It's nice to have some vitamins and minerals inside here, but we suggest you still take a multivitamin to get your vitamins.
Well, or unless you're eating a perfect, immaculate, because we get questions about that, and if you're eating very good, lots of whole food sources, then you could probably get by without one. But most people don't. But working backwards here, now the fats that are added, that accomplishes 2 things. It adds calories, but it really makes products taste better. That's really the secret as to why a lot of companies do it. Not a big fan of adding canola oil and corn syrup solids to it. They're not very good for you.
No.
And like I said, the fat is definitely going to increase the amount of calories, and it's going to make it taste good. It's going to get that creamy, rich taste, even if you mix it in water.
Yeah, that's a lot of their intended goal when they add these fats is for the flavoring, to make it taste better. A lot of the more tastier protein powders in the market do have a higher fat content because it does make it more of a creamier, tastier shake.
And then now the carbohydrates, there's a lot of fiber, like 11 grams of fiber per serving based on the suggested serving. That's going to fill you up, so it's going to make you feel full. So if you're somebody who's a real hard gainer and you're really trying to eat as many calories as you can, this probably isn't the best for you because you're probably going to get full a little quicker. Plus the carb to protein ratio, you actually might want something with some more carbs relative to the amount of protein. You might want something more in the 3 to 1 ratio, so you could take in like 75 grams of carbs for every 25 grams of protein. Might be a little more for somebody who's really trying to get in those extra calories and has trouble eating enough.
Yeah, with this high amount of fiber, when taking a weight gainer, what we always suggest is make sure it doesn't take place or take place of any other meals you're intaking, because the goal of this is to help you put on extra weight. So if you take this and you don't eat your next meal or don't eat your next 2 meals, then you're just replacing calories with calories. There's no weight gain there.
Yeah, you're never going to reach that. You have to have a caloric surplus, if you will, at the end of the day. You have to eat more than you burn. So if you're burning 2,000 calories and you're eating 2,000, you're going to stay the same way. And like Glenn said, if you just replace a couple meals and you add this in and you're still eating 2,000 calories, you're back to where you started. So, and how many more calories than you burn varies from person to person. depending upon your goals and your activity level and things like that. So there's no blanket answer that we can give and say, oh, how much do I need to gain weight? There's too many variables, body weight, activity level, all of those things. Now, something we wanted to delve into with this product specifically is with the protein and the source of protein. Now, if you look on the bottle here, you read on the front 26 grams of glutamine, 23 grams of BCAAs, 9 grams of leucine. Well, that's a little misleading, because if you look on the side here, there's an amino acid profile chart. Well, what it is it's 2 servings mixed with 32 ounces of whole milk. Well, 32 ounces of whole milk is really going to help that BCAA content, because BCAAs are rich in both casein and whey protein, the 2 proteins that make up milk protein. And you're talking about a very large serving. What's that? Not from the powder alone, that's almost 100 grams of protein right there.
Yeah.
Adding into it the milk, so you're not really getting that much in a serving.
Yeah, and it's something you have to make in a blender or carry around in like a gallon jug.
Yeah, you couldn't drink that.
Nah, it's something you're probably gonna be drinking, throughout the day maybe.
Yeah.
But that's a huge serving at once.
Yeah, so keep that in mind when you look at that. That's not, oh, look at that, I just got, 23 grams or 26 grams of glutamine and 23 grams of BCAAs and all that. That's just not the case. So not at least in one sitting. Also, the other thing to consider is the source of protein. MHP uses soy in basically, I think, all their protein powders.
Their big protein powder is called Probolic SR, and they use soy protein.
Yeah, they're the only ones that I'm aware of. I'm not sure if you are, that actually uses soy protein as the main source of protein. I can't think of anyone else. In fact, some of the vegan, vegetarian proteins, I know we're talking, they started to remove soy from theirs. And the reason being is that, we've looked up some research here, and since the early 90s, soy sales have climbed from 300 million in 1992 to over 4 billion in 2008. So what that means is it's becoming more and more of a filler in foods. You're seeing some soy burgers, and just in everyday foods that you can see in the grocery store, they're adding soy, and you're going to get it in your diet. It's almost hard to avoid. And there's some studies on animals that have found that some of the soy isoflavones, specifically, I think it's genistein is the one, that can have some adverse effect on animals. Now, this hasn't been demonstrated in humans yet, so we can't really say that it's toxic if you get exposed to too much of it. But we can say that we can't say there's no effect. We'd like to see some more research with humans. So we think that there's really no benefit to supplementing extra soy protein.
No.
And soy is the cheapest protein you can buy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is a lot of the reasons why you see it more and more in foods and things like that is because it is less expensive than other proteins.
Absolutely.
So, for MHP, if they're putting it in here, it's a less expensive protein they're putting in there.
Yeah, and you just make more money. And like Glenn said, it's a good filler in foods in order to increase protein content. If certain companies and stuff are going to reduce calories or reduce carbohydrates, well, then they're going to throw in soy to increase the protein, or things like that. So that's something else that you'd want to consider, when looking at this. So it's not to say that soy, we're not going to sit here and push hyperbole that soy is going to kill you and all this and that. It's just you're going to come across plenty of it in your diet, and there's really no reason to supplement extra. We know whey, casein, and egg are better sources of protein. So
definitely.
And there's we can say conclusively you don't have these concerns with that. So yeah. So,
that's pretty much it.
So I think we covered everything as far as this product goes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section of the blog or in the video. Also, underneath you'll see that you can like the video. You can give it a thumbs up if you like it. And check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/BestPriceNutrition. Thank you.
Thank you.